Good morning, this is Jack from Charting the Markets, and this is the pre-market webinar for the morning of Thursday, the 13th of March. My disclaimer, I do this for educational purposes only. I'm here to share my technical analysis with you. I hope you can take some of what I'm doing, learn from it, transfer it to your own charts. I'm not here to issue trading signals. Right, on last night's The Bigger Picture webinar, I laid out the scenario I'm concerned about that could turn the current trade war into a major economic disaster. So just in summary, it's just I was looking at I was watching carefully what Trump was saying about tariffs last year. I was obviously warning last year that this could be a very interesting period, and obviously what I was mainly concerned about last year was how much of what Trump said on the campaign trail he said, because everyone was saying, oh no, he means this, he means that, but I did wonder what would happen if he actually meant what he said about tariffs. Now, the next thing he said about tariffs, and this becomes relevant as the war is widening into the EU, into Japan, and into others, is the next thing he said was that in the event that anyone retaliated against the tariffs, then he was going to put up the original tariffs again accordingly, and would do so in each case where anyone dared to respond to the initial tariffs. Now, what this means is it's kind of like a situation where someone's got to have the last word. You know, one side puts on tariffs, next side retaliates, first one retaliates, next one retaliates again, first one retaliates. Obviously, you can move up to a scale of tariffs which would be seriously alarming, and this is actually how we could see a full stock market crash happen this year, major bonds crisis, major problems. Initially in Trump's plan, it seemed pretty obvious that he was not expecting most people to retaliate, and he was threatening them to make sure that he didn't. If he means that, and given that everyone's going to retaliate, and will probably retaliate each time, then we can actually see the tariffs go up to very, very high levels very quickly. And I'm watching carefully to see whether or not that's going to happen. Anyway, that's just as an aside. Watch the video. I'm talking about that, and I'm talking about the potential trouble that could also be triggered seriously in the bond markets if people get really pissed off with the US and start selling their US treasuries. But anyway, for now, we've got... Yes, we are not making it off the ground so far. And obviously, if we start seeing on retaliations today and tomorrow and the next day, then we may well just go down further. We will see. We've got a 60-minute buy signal fix. That's not delivered anything so far, and it may not. But if it did deliver anything, the target would be up in about the 57.45 to 57.70 area. On NG, this looks like a bear flag, setting up a retest of the low. Now, obviously, if we'd see a retest of the low, that could be the second low of a double bottom, but equally, it may not be. RTY kind of looks like a bear flag-ish. We got a little double bottom here which broke up, and it looks like we are forming a bear flag instead at the moment. On YM, possible double bottom here too. Not a bad one, but really hasn't even managed to get off the ground. DAX and the STX are in an inflection point here. We've either got a pattern which is breaking down significantly lower, or we've got little inverted head and shoulders here, both on DAX and on the STX, although it's fading a bit on the STX now, that could break up and go back and retest the highs. That would be an awful lot easier than it would be on US indices, because the European indices have been doing so much better during this, and had been doing a lot better beforehand as well. I have been seeing some reports, I'm not sure the timing quite works on it, but I have been seeing some reports suggesting this might be capital flight from the US, possibly either over tariffs or possibly about the US dollar coming down. But I have to say, one thing I had mentioned before is DAX. The German recession has effectively been stagnant or in recession. The German economy has been effectively stagnant or in recession for a couple of years now. This huge performance we've seen on DAX in recent months isn't because their economy is doing well. It's for some other reason. So anyway, thought for the day. All right, let's have a look at Dia. Well, let's have a look at SPX first. SPX, we still got a nice looking positive divergence. I'm skeptical it's going to deliver anything. If we start seeing retaliations on retaliations, particularly in Europe, then we could rapidly head down into this target area, which I've got on SPX in the 5360 to 5440 area. Looking at the no obvious pattern here. We've got a declining resistance trend line, but there's no obvious pattern here as yet. Sometimes this means we just need to go down further to establish one. Looking at the Qs, we've got a 6-minute, an RSI 5 bicycle fix. And obviously we're pretty close to the targets already. We will see. Here we have actually got on here and in Q quite a nice looking pattern here. The next obvious target would be a test of this trendline resistance. This is more encouraging, but I would note that it's really the only one we've got. Dia, we've got an RSI 5 buy signal as well on the daily. Go a little down a little further and we're going to lose that divergence. No short-term pattern really unless we go a little lower first. Looking at IWM, we've got still got a possible bull flag here. I'm very skeptical about this being a bull flag, but we've got it there. We've got a possible RSI 5 divergence. Keeping an open mind, but I'm skeptical about that happening. Looking at the pattern here on IWM, though, we've got quite a nice looking pattern from this high again, and I am wondering if this might break up and deliver a bit of a rally. Looking at DAX, I'm wondering about a head and shoulders forming here, i.e. go a little higher and then break down in what would be a pretty decent looking reversal pattern. And Nikkei is rallying a bit on this long lower band ride. I'm going to be doing a post tomorrow about lower band rides because I think we'll be on about day 15 by then, which is getting pretty close to the longest I've seen one last. Having said that, Trump's looking a bit scary at the moment. Maybe he can deliver a record here. All right, great. Let's have a look at DX. DX, we've got the 60-minute buy signal has reached the possible near miss target. We've not really got any other divergence here. And while this looks as though it might be bottoming action, I've got a potential trend line here. It could be that we're going to just resume the downtrend shortly. ZB, this looks like a bull flag. I'm leaning towards seeing a retest of the high. On CL, we've got a double bottom here, and we've got a weak 6-minute sell signal, which is now fixed. I am wondering whether we are going to, we could see a breakup here, move over 68.25, has a target in about 71.25 area, just above the monthly pivot. It's an attractive target, but so far we didn't do an awful lot on the way up, and we've now got a sell signal fixed. It could be it's going to stall here. NG, we've got a possible 60-minute buy signal is brewing. I'm still leaning towards the upside here. We've still got a pretty solid looking target in the 5.75 to 6.25 area. On GC, we have broken up. I would say we've got some negative divergence here. We've got a possible weak 60-minute sell signal brewing here. We've got a 60-minute sell signal fixed on SI. Nothing on HG, but that's now reached the target. I am thinking we should go up and reach this retest. We're really close to it now. So after that, this potentially could be a double top. Keeping an open mind, but I'd like to see continuation higher. Again, we could be setting up a double top on SI, and we could have one already on HG because we've gone back and retested this high. All right, not a lot to see on the currencies. USD has reached the possible near miss target, and really the full target. Pretty close to it. Not a lot else to see. KC still looks like flag forming, and I'm wondering about a leg down into about 355 area to finish forming a bull flag. On SB, we're reaching the smaller of the double bottom targets here. Could go up higher, but bigger picture, I'm wondering about it heading lower because there's a target it hasn't reached yet. On CC, this looks like a bearish consolidation so far, possible bear flag forming. ZW, bit of a retracement here. This is kind of an inflection point on grains. We could see a reversal on all of them back down again. I'd like to see this being a bull flag and continuation higher. On corn, again, we've seen a 50 back, and we could be forming a low here, or we could continue down into the low retest. On soy, I was looking for the low retest here. We haven't quite delivered it yet. weak 6-minute buy signal fixed and is reaching the possible near miss target. On CT, possible little double top here. We had a nice bottoming setup when we had a potential level bottom here. Now we haven't got one. I'm certainly wondering about a possible retest of this low coming and potentially lower prices from there. Lumber, I'd love to see a retest of this high. That could be the second high of a double top on live cattle. Nice move up here. No obvious target. Possible 60-minute sell signal brewing on lean hogs. We have an IHS which is broken up with a target in the 90 area. We haven't made that yet, but this looks like a bull flag setting up a retest of that high. All right, great. Anyway, have a look at the bigger picture video. I'm laying out my potential Trump disaster scenario. If he continues doing what he was talking about on the campaign trail in this trade war. So I laid it out there. I might do another one which is just dedicated to that in a day or two, but I'm probably going to be writing about it in a post tomorrow. But that is the tit for tat scenario where every time someone retaliates to his tariffs, he increases the tariffs. He's already tried that with Canada. He was a little uncertain about it, but if he actually starts doing that with everyone, then the fairly sizable tariffs and limited market disruption that we have seen so far could actually escalate very, very rapidly into a major problem. So recessions all around. This is one of the ways the Great Depression got started. So I'm not thinking we'd do a Great Depression here, but things could get ugly. And need to be aware of that. In the meantime, we've not been making it off the ground here. We've still got a decent setup for a rally, but I'm wondering if particularly as the European retaliatory tariffs are going on today. So this is really very topical today. I am wondering if he's going to retaliate to those and potentially just send the market down for another leg. Be wary and be cautious. These are scary, scary markets. So we shall see. All right, great. In that case, that's a wrap, guys. I will catch you guys tomorrow.